Everything is fair in love and war. Here we are talking about war, a real war. Let's be brutally honest, both India and Pakistan are masters at spinning lies. The state-run and private media, especially Indian media, mostly rubbish.
आर्मी अंदर घुस गई है पाकिस्तान में। क्वेटा का इलाका है, वहां पर इन क्वेटा आल्सो कर दिया है।
Day in, day out, they feed the citizens half-truths, inflame nationalism, glorify violence, and push a constant narrative of fear and pride. The result? Misled populations, rising hostility, and a region constantly on the brink of disaster. Now let's get the facts straight. India is not just slightly bigger than Pakistan, it's a bloody giant in comparison. In territory, in economy, in population, and in military strength. Even in international influence, India outweighs Pakistan 10 times over. But don't let that fool you. Power doesn't come with stability, and arrogance doesn't bring a peace. One thing worth noting, India has no genuinely good relationships with any of its neighbors. No one. Its border with China remains one of the tensest in Asia, especially after the deadly Galwan clashes in 2020. With Pakistan, of course, it's always on the edge of war. But what about others? Nepal, a fellow Hindu majority country, has been bullied over border disputes. Myanmar, India's ties, they are shallow and self-serving, driven by short-term interests rather than a genuine diplomacy. Even Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, once close allies, are now distancing themselves cautious of India's overbearing attitude and regional ambitions. Compare that to Pakistan, which despite being politically unstable, economically fragile, has managed to build relatively strategic ties with China, Iran, Afghanistan, Turkey, and Gulf countries. That contrast speaks volumes. The Indo-Pak conflict, therefore, is not just about border or terrorism. It's also a mirror to two very different kinds of political insecurities, fed by propaganda, historical baggage, and broken diplomacy. So why are India and Pakistan always at each other's throats? The short answer is Indian-occupied Kashmir. Since 1947, this small Himalayan region has been the core of their hatred. Both countries claim it, neither is willing to let go, and the people of Kashmir are caught in the middle, living under one of the most militarized zones on earth. But let's go deeper. Kashmir is not only the reason, it's a symbol of national identity, religious rivalry, and political distractions. For India, keeping Kashmir is about territorial pride and suppressing separatism. For Pakistan, it's about representing oppressed Muslims and countering India's dominance. Over time, Kashmir has become less of a geographic issue and more a weaponized narrative. It justifies military budgets, fuels propaganda, and keeps emotions boiling. Now look at the scale. Pakistan is a fraction of India in land, economy, and global influence. So why would a smaller country provoke a giant? That's where the story gets twisted. It's easy, too easy for India to always play the victim. Every time there is an explosion or shooting, even 5 minutes after, Indian media blames Pakistan. No investigation, no evidence, just accusations on loop. How stupid is that? But ask yourself, with a population over 1.4 billion, hundreds of extremist groups, deep caste and religious divisions, is it even logical that India has no domestic terrorist organizations? Let's not pretend. India has plenty of violent, radicalized Hindu outfits. Need some names? There you go. RSS, Bajrang Dal, Sanatan Sanstha, Abhinav Bharat. And yet, India calls itself the victim every time. Meanwhile, most terror attacks in this conflict, and this is a fact, have killed more people in Pakistan than in India. Pakistanis have suffered suicide bombings, sectarian violence, drone strikes, and school massacres. If Pakistan is supposedly running all these groups, then why are its own citizens bleeding more? It's hypocrisy at its finest. The bigger country claiming moral superiority while ignoring its own extremists and weaponizing every tragedy to shift blame without a proof. Now here is a fair question. If Pakistan sees itself as a rival to India, why is it so weak in comparison? Why can't it compete in economy, diplomacy, or global influence? The answer isn't just about being smaller, it's about being badly managed. Pakistan has had the potential to grow, to modernize, and to compete, but it's been choked by two massive cancers: military controls and political corruption. Let's be real. Pakistan has never had a truly stable democracy. Since independence, it's been hijacked again and again by its own military through martial laws, coups, and backdoor control. Every time an elected leader tries to govern, the army steps in by either taking over directly or pulling a string from behind. The result? Weak institutions, fragile of law, and broken system where power means nothing without army's blessing. Then there is a corruption, not the small kind, but the elite level looting. Politicians have become symbol of wealth hoarded abroad while Pakistan's economy bleeds. Billions in foreign loans, yet the public sees no school, no hospitals, no jobs, no infrastructure, and no future. And what made it worse? Dependency on foreign aid, especially from the United States. For decades, Pakistan traded its strategic location for dollars. During the Cold War, it was America's frontline state. Then came the War on Terror, where Pakistan acted as so-called ally, chasing militants by day and allegedly sheltering some by night, all while clashing billions in aid. The price? Sovereignty. Pakistan became addicted to American funds while losing control of its own narrative. What Pakistan lacks is visionary leadership. Someone who can rise above military puppetry, above corrupt dynasties, and actually build a roadmap of 220 million people who live there. Until then, it will remain in the shadow of stronger, richer, more global integrated India. And yet, there was a moment of hope. A brief window when Pakistan saw the rise of a different kind of leader, Imran Khan. A man who came from outside the corrupt political dynasties, who spoke of self-reliance, Islamic values, and anti-elitism. Love him or hate him, Imran gave Pakistanis a sense of dignity, a sense that someone might finally challenge both military shadow and politicians' greed. But that couldn't be allowed to last. The establishment turned on him the moment he started speaking against power brokers. He was arrested, silenced, and removed through legal technicalities and political engineering. His supporters jailed, his party crushed. Why? Because Pakistan elites doesn't fear enemies as much as it fears honest leadership. Now let's get back to the recent conflict between the two nuclear states. India understands one thing very clearly: a full-scale war with Pakistan is unwinnable. With both nations armed with nuclear weapons, any such war would mean mutual destruction. After the unexpected shock on 10th May 2025, India is likely to shift once again to the battleground it knows best. Covert operations, where sabotage, proxy wars, and spies do the dirty work. For years, Pakistan has said that India secretly supports rebel groups in Balochistan, trains fighters, and tries to stir up trouble in the region. In 2016, Kulbhushan Jadhav, a former Indian Navy officer, alleged raw agent, was caught in Balochistan. His capture and confession, funding insurgents and targeting civilian infrastructure.
I commenced intelligence operations in 2003 and established a small business in Chabar in Iran. As I was able to achieve undetected existence and visits to Karachi in 2003 and 2004, and having done some basic assignments within India for RAW, I was picked up by RAW in 2013 end. Ever since, I've been directing various activities in Balochistan and Karachi at the behest of RAW.
His mission was clear: weaken Pakistan from within by igniting unrest in its most fragile province. We are talking about attacks on schools, bombings in markets, kidnappings of laborers, and sabotage of development projects. The goal? to make Pakistan look like a failed state. Innocent civilians, men, women, and even children have died in this proxy war. Bridges, roads, and hospitals meant to uplift the region were blown apart, pushing Balochistan further into suffering. India claims moral high ground in Kashmir, but what about its role in Balochistan? Isn't this the same terrorism it accuses Pakistan of? Is it any less criminal to arm militants and bomb innocent people just because it's done through secret channels? This is the dark truth. Both countries use proxy tactics, but the hypocrisy is staggering. India cries foul when there is a blast in Pulwama, but celebrates when chaos erupts in Quetta. It demands proof from Pakistan, but offers none when its own agents are caught red-handed. And so, this cycle continues. Blood for blood, lie for lie, while the civilians on both sides pay the ultimate price.